My name is Seada. I'm a weaver. I use my thread to tell the stories, great and small, of our people. Stories like the one about a child who saved our valley. The story of my son, Echo. Life gave him many things, except the sense of sight. His ears, though, reveled in the legends I loved to tell him, the same ones I turned into tapestries for our village's temples. His favorite was the one about the serpent god that came down from the sky to lay a sacred egg in the heart of an ageless tree, the mother tree. But despite the beauty of the legends, the world was forgetting the gods. Soon, word came of a man from another valley who was raising an army to claim, steal, and enslave. This was no legend, but a brutal reality that hit our village among many others. Echo was still a child. One day he went to play outside and never came back. Ever since that day, I've searched for him, called for him, cried for him in vain. Still, there may be a way, a hope, and it started with one single thread. Somewhere, Echo was dreaming, and the stars, who are the daughters of the night, knew it. From up here we see everything, they said. Weave the bond that unites us, and we'll lead you to your son. Drew the path that was to lead me to Echo. I hadn't seen him for weeks. It was my face. Echo was dreaming of me at this very moment. My son, my love. One star was enough, and your story would start. So this was where my son was, imprisoned, quietly sleeping in a cage. It wasn't the starting point I was expecting, but it was time for him to wake up. Who could have trapped him? Despite the shock, Echo was still imprisoned. A big rock was blocking his path. As the teller of this story, I had some small power over this world. The power to help Echo when I could. A rolling stone gathers no moss, but it easily catches bumps. This was only the beginning of Echo's troubles and of the difficult path that was going to make him a new being. That star had invited itself into my story. So much the better. It would most likely have a role to play in it. The star, at least, seemed to know where it was going, and Echo only had ears for it. Whoops! This field held more surprises than the small streets of our village. The valley had put on her finest spring garments, but Echo only seemed to care for the star. Where was it taking him? In the fresco, a pilgrim placed their hand into the sculpture's mouth, a trial of trust. Echo found a mechanism in the mouth of Talak, the stone head. This is how, 1 century later, a freshly hatched pilgrim was about to tread upon the sacred ground. Beyond this stream began the sacred lands. Only pilgrims had the right to enter, but the star didn't seem to care. Feeling the beaten-down grass against his legs, Echo understood that something had made us stop here before moving on. Something big. My son approached the temple with confidence. He loved the old stones that told many stories under his fingers. The door opened on a sound only Echo could hear. The star was waiting for Echo to step out, but this door wouldn't open by itself. Echo was finally free. Something important was to happen. It was there, so close. The breath that resonated in the valley. What the star had wanted him to see. It was an Amlak-e-Bab, a snake god, a star harvester, a life carrier. The one from the legends I had told my son so many times. And this god was dying, pierced by the spear of a man. Calmed by the child's presence, the snake let itself go. This was the first time Echo witnessed a death and a birth, for the serpent had left an egg. Serpent gods traveled the universe, harvesting with their scales the memory of the sky. From this memory, an egg was born. They then came to the sacred lands to lay the egg, called Enkalal. It was a gift of life, and my son was holding it in his arms. The egg of a god, an egg god, What a burden for such a young child. What to do now? Which way to go? The egg seemed to have an idea, but it needed a support to express it. The Enkalau was allowing my son to gather a bit more weight in this world. One only had 4 senses. The other seemed ready to break at any moment. But their fragility was now shared. And there it stood, just like in the scriptures, just like in Echo's dreams, the Temple of Isa, the gigantic home of the Amlak Ebab, the serpent god, who would never return there.